Hey there, this is Anita from AnitaAlvos.com, showing you a diet-free approach to creating a body you love and a life that truly rocks. And you know what? This video is very special. You know why? Because it's our very first Q&A. Now, before we actually get into A's Q, I want to just say this is a new segment here for AnitaAlvos.com. It's something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. I've been wanting to answer some of your questions, and I thought for a long time, what would I call this segment? What would I call it? My business coach, the wonderful Marie Forleo, calls her Q&As Q&A Tuesday. I have a good friend that calls hers Q&A Wednesday, and I thought, what am I going to call mine? So I thought, and I said, let's call it Q&A with double A, because double A is my nickname given to me by my other double A's, Anand and Adam, my good friends. So shout out to Anand and Adam. Thank you for giving me that cute little name. It's double A because of the alliteration in my name. So with that, we're starting our first Q&A with double A, so let's double A this Q. So I'm going to go ahead and read you today's question. Today's question comes from Melanie, and Melanie writes, I'm just going to be reading here. Melanie says, "Hi Anita, I'm 5'4" and 124 pounds. So I know that I'm not overweight, but I'm not happy with the way I look, and it seems that no matter what I do, I seem to struggle with food. I've been trying to be a vegetarian for some years now. I love veggies anyways, but I can't seem to control myself around bread and crackers. Seems I'm always craving them, and then it triggers something else for me eventually. What do you think? I'm not really sure whether I should keep this vegan diet or not, since I get more and more sensitive about what I'm eating, and I can't seem to cut off these trouble foods." That's what she calls them, trouble foods. "So I would appreciate your help." Signed, Melanie. Melanie, this is a great question, and I first want to just say that, to be completely fair, I'm not going to be able to address everything about your question in this short time we have together, because you mentioned your perception of yourself. You said you're not overweight, but you don't really like the way you look, and you feel like food is a struggle. So there's a lot that I could touch on here. There's lots of layers, and I would love to touch on that with you more deeply, but for our times today, we don't have that. That would be something that we could really get into some private coaching and really help you around that. So I think what today I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the heart of your question, which it seems like is, hey, is this way of eating really working for me, or should I perhaps abandon it? So I have some insight for you, Melanie. Melanie, the first thing I want to ask you is, are you truly ready to, are you willing to perhaps experiment with letting go of your vegan or vegetarian diet? Now, you said both, so I'm not really sure which it is, but I'm just wondering if you're willing to let go. Now, before I get into my reasoning why, I just want to preface this by saying I am not in any way saying that a vegan or vegetarian diet is bad or wrong, or that you shouldn't do it. Okay, so please don't send me hate mail or nasty comments saying, you said it's bad and let me show you all the proof why. I was also a vegetarian and a vegan. I was both those things at different times in my life for a number of years, and it was great while I was doing it. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work. I know for many people, they can be living their whole lives as a vegan or a vegetarian, or for a good number of years as one, and have no problems. But here's the thing. A way of eating, no matter what it is, it only works until it doesn't work. So we cannot be in this really stuck mindset that there's only one way to eat for a lifetime. So that's my first question is, are you willing to experiment? And if you're willing to experiment, then I'd like to share with you why. The first reason why I'd like you to experiment is I'm wondering if you said you've been trying to do this for a number of years. So it seems like it's been somewhat of a struggle for you, right? You mentioned also that there's a food struggle. So my guess is that you've also been somewhat controlling around food, feeling like you really have to control your food, be in one way of eating. And usually when we get into a controlling mindset, we also sort of are adopting some toxic nutritional beliefs. My mentor, Mark David, talks a lot about toxic nutritional beliefs. So what is that? Those are falsehoods that we have around food or body that keep us stuck. And so some of the common ones might be things like food is the enemy, appetite is the enemy. So if you're feeling like you keep having these cravings that are just like runaway cravings, you might be blaming your appetite. Like, I just can't control it. My appetite is so out of control. I need to control my appetite. So these are some toxic nutritional beliefs that we can get stuck in. Trying to control appetite is really a fruitless endeavor, because appetite is actually really great and really natural. It's what we're supposed to do as humans. We're supposed to desire food because food helps us live, just like we desire air because air helps us live, and water and thus forth. So it's not like it's a bad thing. But these beliefs can help keep us stuck. Typically what I see when someone gets really controlling with one way of eating is they adopt these beliefs, and they sometimes also adopt the belief that fat is the enemy, meaning fat on my body is the enemy. Because we're connecting food to being the enemy, we might also connect that foods with fat are the enemy. And I'm wondering if maybe that's what's happening for you. Now, given I haven't seen what you're eating on a daily basis, so I don't really know. These are just my guesses. But if in any way you have been kind of trying to limit how much fat you're eating, I'm wondering if maybe you can open up to incorporating more healthy fats back into your diet. By doing this, you will help digestion, you will help regulate and actually up your metabolism, and you will also help these cravings start to diminish. Most of the time, it's usually, I see when people start to add in more healthy fats, they tend to have less cravings. So that's the first piece. So I want you to think about, have I been over-controlling about my food? Be honest. Have I been adopting any of those toxic nutritional beliefs? Be honest. And do I need to incorporate more healthy fats back in? So things like avocado, coconut oil, or coconut butter, or chia seeds, olive oil. There's all kinds of healthy fats. So that's my first point to you. The second piece of why I was wondering if you might be willing to experiment with perhaps, letting go of your vegan or vegetarian diet, even just for a short time, is because I'm wondering if maybe you're lacking some protein. Now again, I'm not saying that you can't get protein from vegan or vegetarian sources. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm well aware of that. But for some of us, we just get to a point where maybe we need some animal protein. Again, everybody's different. So just because something's working for one person doesn't mean it's working for everybody. And our bodies are always changing. So maybe that worked for a period of time and maybe it's not working now. And it sounds to me like it's not working now. Like your body wisdom is straight out telling you, hey, Melanie, this isn't working for me. And these cravings are your body's way, her way of getting your attention and having you take notice. So I'm wondering if you might be willing to explore adding in just a little bit of animal protein and seeing if it makes a difference. I can tell you for me, and again, this is just my personal experience, that when I was vegan, after a while, I started to notice first that my hair was losing its luster. It was not thick at all like this. It was really thinning out. I also noticed I had intense cravings for sweets. I started adding fish in a few times a week and I noticed a big difference. So if you can, just see if you can experiment. And I'd really like for you to come from that place and that mindset of, you know what, I'm just doing an experiment. I'm going to see how my body reacts. If I don't feel good doing this or I don't notice a change, then okay, maybe this isn't for me. But if you do start to notice a change and you do start to feel better, then this is your body's way of saying, hey, that's what I needed. I just needed a little bit more of this or that. So just to kind of sum up, Melanie, the 3 things I'm asking you to do are, number 1, examine, have I been too controlling with food? Have I been holding on to these toxic nutritional beliefs and making food the enemy and feeling like I have to control food and control my appetite? If so, it's time to let those go. Number 2, see if you can start to add in some more healthy fats back in your diet and see if that makes a difference. Healthy fats at every meal. And number 3, see if you might be willing to experiment with adding in some animal protein. Start with something that feels the least intimidating. For me, that was fish. And it doesn't have to be every day, maybe just a little bit, and notice if there's a difference. Do your cravings start to subside? Do you feel like you're not as drawn to overeating bread and crackers? See if there's a difference. Now, of course, like I said, there's a whole bunch of emotional reasons, at play here that we just don't have time to get into. But usually if we can start at the nutritional realm and make some tweaks first, we can see a whole lot of benefit. So Melanie, that is me, double A in your Q, and now I'd like to hear from you guys. What I'd love for you to do is in the comments below, let me know. Was there a time where you had to modify your way of eating or change your diet up a little bit? If so, what were the effects? Were they positive? Let me know. Let me know if you ever had that experience. And if you like this video, please like it, please subscribe, and please share it with your friends. And if you want more great tips on how to have that diet-free approach to creating a body you love and a life that truly rocks, then come on over to AnitaAvalos.com and sign up for weekly updates. I promise to send you no junk, just real good stuff to keep you on track and living your happy, healthiest, and hottest life. Thank you so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you again next time. Have a wonderful week. Take care.